Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Takedown Podcast. My name is Mike Larkin, joined as always by my boy RC himself, Mr. Roy Costin. Roy, as always, it's a pleasure. How are we doing today?
Brother, I am doing a lot better than I was last week. I waited until today to make sure that everything was fresh on my mind with what we're talking about today, because we are, in fact, doing our Wrestling Society X review. This will be about the first episode.
Yep.
So, these aren't going to be, every week. These are just reviews that we're going to pick up whenever news is a little bit slow. So, I'm looking forward to it, man. I am really looking forward to it.
I actually have not watched these, and it's great for me, and it's great for you as a refresher, since they were on MTV, the 9 episodes that there were, and there was one that was unaired, which actually we did find on YouTube as we watch all these 10 episodes. I think for its time, because this came out January 30th, 2007 was the date of the first one. It only lasted for 3 months, but what a time it was, and I think you can agree with me on this. This was a great way to introduce a lot of people who are familiar with people who were on the indies, who were in different promotions, whether it be like PWG, Ring of Honor, XPW at the time. This was really a good introduction for a lot of people that we would go on to see, and we'll talk about a lot of familiar faces on here. But I got to ask you, what was your ideal thought of the concept of this? Because if you look at the companies around this time, Ring of Honor, we had the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, as the Ring of Honor champion. WWE was predominantly dominated by John Cena as the WWE champion and Batista as the world champion. You had TNA, whose champion at the time was Sting. We saw Kurt Angle debut around this time, his first months in TNA. So there was a lot going on in the world of wrestling during 2006 into 2007. What were your thoughts on this being the alternative, and especially being a primal spot on MTV?
So, first off, it is a product of its time.
Right.
Late 90s, mid 2000s, that kind of era. I would have loved to have been in the writer's room for the concept of, oh yeah, we're going to have this amazing wrestling show that is catered to all the bros, and we got to come up with a really cool name for it. And somebody who just watched Fight Club was like, yo, what if we call it Project Mayhem Wrestling? And everybody was like, I don't think we can be that on the nose with it. And then some eccentric trillionaire is like, use an X. X is the coolest letter in the alphabet. And then all of a sudden everybody's like, whoa, what if it was like a society? Like a full-on wrestling society X. Let's do that, man. So you definitely had like that bro energy going into it. Halfway through the first episode, I was expecting to see somebody with like a soap manufacturing area somewhere in the stands, but no, I think for what they were trying to do, in my opinion, it seemed like they were trying to reach out and grab that 14-year-old to 25-year-old demographic and say, hey, look, I know that, like you mentioned a minute ago, WWE was like the top brand. And who was on top? John Cena. Who hated John Cena? 14-year-olds to 25-year-old males. So what best way to capitalize on the hatred for John Cena than to do something that is completely opposite of John Cena, completely opposite of WWE, and just having like this, almost ECW style with over the top production. So yeah, it was fun, man. It was a trip watching again.
Would you say, and I like the ECW comparison, and I saw the joke that you did with the letter X, but I got to ask you as well, as a follow-up to that, do you think this was kind of Lucha Underground before its time? Because a lot of these guys we can see go to Lucha Underground.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This was, I think I even wrote something down that you could see how this definitely branched into Lucha Underground. It definitely branched into what we see in like GCW, branched into what we see on AEW now. This was kind of the pseudo prototype of, hey, how can we make ECW cool again? And that's kind of the way that I felt like they went about it with Wrestling Society X was, let's take ECW, modernize it, and then you've got Lucha Underground that said, okay, let's take bits of ECW, let's take bits of Wrestling Society X, let's modernize it, so on and so forth. Until now, you've got like AEW doing their thing. There's parts of it in TNA that kind of resemble Wrestling Society X. Even some of the stuff in WWE now resembles Wrestling Society X. Um, hey, look, I'll probably bring him up every time that we talk about wrestling, but Shiloh Hill would have been fun in Wrestling Society X. You know, him finding stuff on the dark web. They show like the old school, like him trying to hack into things and then brings in a weapon that was used that he found on the dark web or something. Like he would have fit perfectly in this.
Shiloh Hill trying to get on the old school real players and everything, trying to hack everything. Yeah, it's time.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what's funny about it too is, even to go on to your point now, MTV around this time, obviously MTV before this, one of the WWE things that really did air a lot was Sunday Night Heat, of course. But I want to ask you on your thought here. If you look at the MTV programming too around the time, TRL was slowly going towards the end. It was kind of like becoming less popular with the introduction of the iPods and everything, and how music was really, the product was coming in and how everybody was consuming it. But I have to ask you as well, what did you think of having this? Because MTV at the time had shows like Room Raiders, Bully Beatdown, which was the MMA guys show. It had all these reality type shows that we would see now, kind of like what MTV was based upon. And now there's no longer MTV. But I got to ask you, at this time during the mid 2000s, how do you think this fit within the MTV sphere of where they were going in that direction?
Oh, perfect. I mean, like you mentioned, Bully Beatdown, Mayhem Miller,
Yeah.
awesome show. It was fun, bringing in just random UFC fighters and just being like, hey, that guy, he sucks. Why don't you beat him up? You know, but I think it was the final piece of the puzzle for that era of MTV. You had MTV Cribs, you had Punked or whatever it was called.
Was still on.
Yeah, you had like all of these things that were, they were trying to capture the zeitgeist of that early 20s male audience. So, throwing out, hey, here's violence, here's wrestling, here's over the top storyline kind of stuff. You got Pimp My Ride comes on right afterwards. You've got all these different things, and it makes sense. And to your point, yeah, like the invention of the iPod, they were already getting away from doing like what they actually started MTV to do, which was, music television. They were already steering away from the music aspect of it anyways. And I think if they had gone maybe 2 more seasons with Wrestling Society X, it would have ended up on Spike, because that's that kind of demographic that Spike was trying to grab, So I think at this time, Spike TV and MTV were kind of interchangeable,
Oh yeah, I mean at this time this was early in TNA's deal with Spike TV as well. Can you imagine WSX talent at the Spike Video Game Awards? Oh my goodness gracious!
Oh,
But
that would have been great.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And also, folks, with what he was also saying about Bully Beatdown, now that you were bringing that back with Mayhem, that literally was the show. It was just, hey man, this guy's bullying me. He's an ass. And what are we going to do? We're going to bring in some UFC fighters and watch him get his butt kicked, which was, that literally was the show. It was great.
Yeah, and everybody loved Mayhem Miller for that, because, I mean, I think it was actually his idea to do that.
Yes.
Where he's like, hey, what if we have people sign releases and we tell them like, hey, look, here's your opportunity to pick on somebody your own size. And they thought that they were going to come in and be like, oh yeah, I could take them, whatever. And then it's like Chuck Liddell walks out and it's like, oh, never mind.
Never mind. Here comes Randy the Natural Couture.
Yeah, yeah. Randy Couture comes out and you're just like, oh, man. Oh no, I can't do this. Well,
what was the other thing that was on? Oh, first of all, Pimp My Ride. You got to pimp my ride.
Oh man, that's a whole nother wormhole with like what
Did you ever play the video game? I never had
it. No,
they made a video game. I saw the gameplay on it. I'm going to tell you right now, if you get Pimp My Ride as a Christmas gift for like a Christmas gift and someone gets you that, you would want your money back. I saw the game. Oh, it's a terrible video game. It's a terrible, terrible video. All you do is just go around pimping people's rides, and you got to collect coins and all this stuff, and just, oh, what do you want to put in this person's ride? Like, it's cool from the aesthetic, and then you get to like pimp the ride and pop the wheelie and all that stuff, and just dance and break dance with the car. I'm like,
in other words, it would make a good flash game now, like one of those ones where I don't know if you've seen on YouTube. They have the little playables or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it sounds like it would make a good playable game on YouTube now, where it's like, it's just a point and click. Oh, let's add this. Let's put a TV in the back. Oh, we could put a PlayStation in the trunk. Oh, you like, I heard you like gun racks. Well, we put a gun rack on your gun rack.
Look at it like this.
And hold on, tying it all back in.
Okay.
What's the name of the guy that hosts the show? Exhibit. Starts with the X. Once again, it all comes full circle on that, man. I'm telling you.
That it does. I think the only thing I will mention about that, I compare that story. It's like, do you remember NBA Ballers Phenom when NBA came out with those games for Midway?
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at the story where it's just you're playing different tournaments and you're collecting stuff. Then you go to the stop. Do you want to get this for your backpack? Do you want to change your role? That's really all it is. Like, there's a story to it, but it's like you're just going into different tournaments and just shoot hoops. That's all it really is. And then the other show I will mention before we get into this, as we're having a reminiscence here, do you also remember when they had that show Next, where they would get off the bus and quickly next and all that? That was horrible. That's early reality television. That concept of that show, and those people were so cringe. Do you remember Next?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think it was Luchasaurus is on one of the episodes.
Is he really?
I know. Okay, first off, I know he was on Big Brother.
Yes, I know that.
But there was, what wrestler? There was some like famous wrestler. I want to say it was Luchasaurus. No, it was Lance Archer. Lance Archer was on Next. Yeah.
I have to go back and watch this.
Yeah. I'll see if I can find it here in a minute, but Lance Archer was on Next because then Darby Allin was on an episode of How I Got Sent to the ER or something like that.
Yeah, with that hair, that's tire and everything. But yeah.
Yeah.
God.
So yeah, like, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Lance Archer. But yeah, Next was great.
This was the era that we grew up with everything on MTV and the reality shows. And then Wrestling Society X had a nice little position in this. I think if I remember correctly, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it aired on like Fridays at like 10:30 p.m. like in the late time slot, if I remember correctly.
I know it was really late. It was either Friday or Saturday. I think you're right with that. But I know it was really late.
Yeah, because I remember watching SmackDown on Fridays because this is when they started doing the Friday Night SmackDown stuff. And then I think that would air like right after. And somebody could correct me in the comments, whoever listens. But dang it, man, this was a time to be alive. And I figured let's just hop right into it when it comes to this. So our announcers are Brett Ernst and Chris Kloss. I don't remember these guys at all. Do you remember Brett Ernst and Chris Kloss?
Nope.
And then
So Cross looked familiar, but I couldn't put my finger on where I knew him from.
Yeah,
but he had that face. Like he looked like he was familiar. So,
and then I found out. So the ring announcer was Fabian Kaline, and Fabian Kaline is actually Ryan Katz, who is currently a producer in the WWE.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so, there's a referee in there that's kind of predominant now too. So
Okay,
we'll
you
get
can
to that
fill
one.
me in when we get to that. So please
Yeah.
do, absolutely. But I thought that was a nice introduction. There's no mats there. It's very old school. You land on the concrete, so I like that little element of nuance. And then we get to the first matchup, and these two, a lot of wrestling fans obviously remember, and definitely watching them back then. Oh my goodness! So we start off with Matt Sydal, who would later go on to be Evan Bourne in the WWE. Has wrestled in TNA. He's wrestled in AEW. He's wrestled all over the world. Former tag
Yep.
team champion in Ring of Honor with Christopher Daniels. And his girlfriend, Lizzie Valentine. Do you remember Lizzie Valentine?
I don't remember her, but the fact that they have Matt Sydal coming out as
Like a frat guy.
basically, yeah, he's basically, I think I said the high school jock with his girlfriend, and he's this. I guess he's supposed to be the American, every guy kind of person or whatever. It was so funny to see him like that, and then see him in AEW doing like the weird like third eye gimmick. I think he did at some point. Yeah, yeah. I was just like, this is insane. Okay, cool, but and then you get Jack Evans.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's set the scene here. Because
Yeah.
Jack Evans literally looked like he came out of Hot Topic or the skate park. Like, oh my god.
Break dancer at a skate park is exactly what I thought.
Oh
He
my
looks
god.
like a break dancer at a skate park. Hey, bro, you skate? I mean, just to get here. I'm more here for the break dancing, though. Like,
He looked like he would hang out with the Rocket Power gang. Oh my
yeah, no, exactly. 100%.
I don't know if you know
100%.
I wrote in my notes here. Oh, this is someone straight out of 2006. That's all I wrote because
Yeah.
this is someone 2006.
Yeah. He is the poster child for 2006.
Oh, he comes out doing the break dancing and he's all cocky. Jack Evans at this time, like I mentioned on the screen, did his thing in Jersey All Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor. That insane like 630 he did off the cage at Ring of Honor was nuts. This dude was just something of his time. He would then go on to be in Lucha Underground and AEW team with Angelico. It's a shame that the AEW career lasted so long because those guys would have been great tag team champions.
Yeah, no, I think they're both still there. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, yeah, I just
yeah,
people.
You don't see them. Yeah, you never see them. But I think, and this is something that I'll go into later. Also, with sending someone into a different area, I think you could take Jack Evans and Angelico and send them to like CMLL for a stint, being that they have that working relationship with them, and like let them just go over there and have some fun doing some some lucha type stuff, and maybe hold the tag titles or something in CMLL, because like Jack Evans and Angelico are still great. It's just you never see them on TV.
Well, it's like look what they're doing with the War Raiders as the AAA tag champs now. Like do something like that. I mean, another thing. I mean, I recently saw Bailey was like, hey, like she's been on AAA, she's on WWE. She's like, hey, I'll wrestle Indy Hartwell at Slammiversary. Do it. Like, why not?
Yeah. If they want to go to a company that you already have a working relationship with,
Go for
and
it.
they are a bigger, like especially with Bailey, like that is one of the bigger named stars from main roster, and she's like, hey, I would love to work in TNA. Let her. That does nothing but build your relationship with that company.
I mean, look at Natty, Bloodsport. She wrestled on NWA. I mean, she's back in NXT now, and I mean, she's feuding with Jada Parker. She's got the new alliance with Carmen Petrovic and Nikita Lyons. Like, it works.
Sure.
It works. Sure. Why not?
Yeah. Nikita Lyons. That's a whole rabbit hole to go down.
That's a whole lot. That's a whole lot of women. That's all I'm going to say. Mm-hmm. So we start with Matt Sydal and Jack Evans. I have to ask you, since we're not too familiar with Lizzie Valentine. Did you like Lizzie Valentine? What did you think of the character?
I literally put in my notes, the commentators say Lizzie has quote unquote wandering eyes. Ugh. So look, I've been that guy before where it's like, oh yeah, look at that girl, you know what I'm saying? I'm a girl dad.
Yes.
So I look at things in a different light now. So the fact that the whole reason she's there is to be, oh, well, I'm his girlfriend, but you beat him and maybe you can take me home instead of my boyfriend. I'm like, oh, come on, man. Every single woman on TV at this time was, what promiscuous. So I don't know. It was weird, but I think for doing what she was doing, she did a good job. Like she at one part of the match, she grabbed Jack Evans's leg or something.
Yep.
So yeah, like she did good as a valet. She did what she was supposed to do. It's just the product of the time, man. Product of the time.
I mean, to quote Nelly Furtado and Timbaland, promiscuous girl, you're teasing me.
Yeah.
So, but no, I hear what you're saying on that front. And
Yeah.
first of all, shout out to all the girl dads out there.
Oh, yeah.
But this right here, man, like the start of this matchup where he just like tosses him over the rope was nuts. Then Matt Sydal does a tope. They go back and forth. A nice roundhouse kick in midair by Jack Evans. There was a gory especial from Matt Sydal that they called the Siamese twin. Okay, I wrote another tope from Jack Evans. And then there's a corkscrew that misses from Jack. And then Matt Sydal, before it was even known as the Penta Driver, hits a Penta Driver for a near fall. Then the standing moonsault. And then, like Roy mentioned, Lizzie holds on to Jack Evans's leg. And this man goes off her back and does a springboard DDT. Hits the 630, 1, 2, 3. Jack Evans is your winner. I personally thought for the first match of this era being WSX, what a hell of a way to kick it off. These two just showcase why their futures would be oh so bright. Great high-octane aerial assault that did tell the story of the promiscuity of Lizzie Valentine. So 2 parts here. What'd you think of the match, number 1? And number 2, not even that. The musical guest was Black Label Society, and we had Zach Wilde on commentary.
Dude, love some Black Label Society. Love them. And I mean, look, if you're going to have a musical guest, the first musical guest for Wrestling Society X needs to be somebody from Black Label Society. Like, come on. It doesn't, you can't write it any better. No, dude, it was a great match. That is a match that you want to put to draw in a crowd because they could be flipping through the channels. First time you're ever seeing it, and you've got these two guys doing like these flips and taking these crazy bumps. I had said in my notes, I had said that Sydal went for that really sick submission hold. It nasty. Yep. There were a ton of flips that, definitely felt reminiscent of PWG.
Yep.
And definitely inspired that like AEW style. And I even put Darby Allin 100% watched this match and was like, oh yeah, I could do this. Darby Allin 100% watched that match and was like, oh, so flips and landing on your head? Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah, I got this. So no, it was a great way to start your company, to start your show by saying, hey, look, these two guys are absolutely great in the ring. We're only giving them like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that. They made every second of it count. So it was great.
Well, it's like they say, you have to make the most of your time, and they certainly did. Then we get a highlight package of the tag teams coming to WSX. We got Keeping It Gangsta, KTFO, for those that know, And then you get a team that is very recognizable to a lot of us, Team DIFH, Do It For Her, with their Get Ready to Feel the Emotional Explosion. And I laughed my butt off as soon as I saw that, and especially for the 2 gentlemen that are involved. For those who don't know, DIFH, Do It For Her, was a young Tyler Black, of course, who would later go on to be Seth Rollins, Ring of Honor, WWE, and a young Jimmy Jacobs, who was a producer in WWE, producer in AEW, TNA, former Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion with BJ Whitmer. And as when this aired, do you know what he actually did previously on WWE that he's also recognizable for?
No, I'm not 100% sure on that one.
In 2005, going into Judgment Day '05, he lost to Eddie Guerrero. That was the infamous match where he put the mask on a bloody Jimmy Jacobs after he beat him up. So he was a part of the Eddie Guerrero Rey
Oh,
Mysterio feud. Yep.
oh, I did not know that. That's cool.
But Jimmy Jacobs, man, it was so great to see him here. This was at the time when he was doing the Ballad of Lacey in Ring of Honor. Lacey, who was also a part of WSX as a backstage personality. But I got to tell you, it really did get to see a lot of these great tag teams. We also had the Trailer Park Boys and Team Dragon Gate. I'm going to ask you, what were your thoughts on all these teams being announced?
I liked it. I like the fact that they were setting it up to say, hey, look, these are the tag teams. You're not going to see a tag team match tonight, but you're going to go ahead and kind of see who all will be involved in the weeks coming up. So I think it was a good way to run a vignette where you introduce upcoming talent, and if you see one of the teams that you like, then you're going to want to tune in. Going back to the demographic they were trying to grab, seeing Tyler Black and Jimmy Jacobs, you're gonna get the My Chemical Romance crowd. They're going to see those guys and they're going to be like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to tune in to see what they do. So
I'm putting that on a T-shirt now. The My Chemical Romance crowd. So long and good night. Oh, I think this is when Welcome to the Black Parade was also still out at the time. When I was a young boy. So Keeping It Gangsta was Ruckus and Baby Slim. The Trailer Park Boys were Nate Webb and Josh Raymond, managed by Johnny Webb. And we also saw Team Dragon Gate, who was Horiguchi and Yoshino, managed by Sakota. Now, for those who don't know, Sakota was the one of Akio and Sakota with Tajiri back in the WWE days, his henchman. And God rest his soul, Ryan Sakota is no longer with us. Your thoughts on even the Trailer Park Boys and Team Dragon Gate and Keeping It Gangsta, KTFO?
I mean, Keeping It Gangsta, that's always. I wonder if, because this would have been around the same time of Crime Time, right?
Crime Time had actually just debuted on the main roster, yeah.
Yeah, so I wonder if there was any kind of like overlap where people were like, oh, so is Keeping It Gangster just a knockoff Crime Time? Were these guys doing this beforehand? Did WWE see these guys on the independent circuit and were like, oh, we could do that? We've got a couple of guys that we could throw together to turn into, Crime Time or something like that. So I think having those types of gimmicks that are reminiscent of gimmicks you might see on TV, whether it was for the time in Ring of Honor, WWE, or in TNA, then you kind of could have, that familiarity where they're like, oh, they're kind of like this team. I wonder if they wrestle kind of like this team. So yeah, it was cool. I'm looking forward to, because I honestly don't even remember now, but I'm looking forward to seeing if any of the tag teams are actually in matches in the next coming weeks. Because I honestly don't remember if they are, and if they are, I wonder if it's like all of them actually do get showcased, or if it's like, hey, here's the Trailer Park Boys, and then they go the whole season where they're like, oh no, season 2 is going to be huge for the Trailer Park Boys. We just want people to kind of know who you are first, and then they get to the taping for like episode 10, and they're like, all right, guys, last taping, we got canceled, and then they're just sitting back like, but what about us for next season?
Yes. That's the thing. Like, I see these teams. I'm actually in the same boat as you, because here's what I do remember. I think the only team out of these, looking at them, the only ones that I remember actually seeing, I wrote in my notes, were Do It For Her on the TV show. That was it.
Yeah, that's the only team that I remember, because I think, without spoiling anything, I think Do It For Her end up facing Alcatraz and Luke Hawks.
Yeah,
like I think that they end up facing them at some point, and that's about the only tag team match I can remember. So
That's honestly why I can't wait to take this memory lane, because there's a lot
Yeah,
of this I don't remember.
man, season 2 of Wrestling Society X was going to be
What
nothing but tag team wrestling.
that
That's
was
all.
fire. Like, just focus the teams and the story. Like, they had so much to work with here.
I've got to know what they had planned for season 2.
Same.
Like if they even had anything planned. I want to know if they had anything planned for an episode 11, because I don't know if they just picked up every day and was like, hey, let's just throw these guys out there and see what happens, or if they legitimately had a plan of this episode through this episode, next season we're focusing on this arc. If they did that, or if it was just week to week they were like, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Well, I think with what we're gonna, and not to spoil anything until we get to that episode, but we'll find out very soon why MTV was like, "We got to get this off the air." Oh, and in a way, looking back at it now, it's just kind of like, really, that was what did it. But okay, fine, whatever. Then we get to the backstage segment after this. Just Incredible, before he was scamming people out of money on the indies, and I hate to say it like that, but you saw what's going on with Just Incredible. He is a piece of trash. Just Incredible was like, hey, I'm going to win the Battle Royal. It's so intense because I'm Just Incredible. God rest his soul, New Jack and Chris Hamrick were fighting backstage, and that leads into the Rumble. And then we got Teddy Hart, who's like, I'm going to win the Rumble. I'm the nephew. I'm the best generation of family with the Hart Foundation and the Hart family. And then here's Chaos and Aaron Aguilera. For those that don't know, Aaron Aguilera was Jesus from the WWE, Carlito's bodyguard, who may or may have not stabbed John Cena at the nightclub. God, what a storyline that was. And they were talking about winning the Battle Royal. What did you think of these backstage segments? Do you want to comment on Just Incredible first, Mr. PJ Polacco, Mr. Aldo Montoya?
No. I'm gonna keep any kind of look, the fact that like the first 4 people that they show is nothing but controversy.
Yes. And here's the thing, I'm literally not trying to be mean at Just Incredible. I'm really
No.
because we grew up on ECW and
Yeah.
dealing with the X Factor, but no.
But the fact that like the first 4 people you see
Are them
is Just Incredible,
New Jack,
Scammer, New Jack legitimately killed someone, Chris Hamrick, who I guess his whole gimmick is he's racist.
Yeah, he's something straight out of like XPW mixed with smoke.
Well, you know his very first thing that he got famous for.
What was it?
So there is a spot in old school WWF where it's 1-2-3 Kid and this guy with like a blonde mullet. And when he runs by him on an Irish whip, 1-2-3 Kid kicks him in the butt and he just flies right through the ropes. Like it was a botch where he just like completely sailed out of the ring. That's Chris Hamrick.
Oh my God. Okay. I have to go back.
He still wrestles in North Carolina to this day.
Oh, wow.
Like I just saw him on a card last year or something like that. But yeah, I don't know if it's because he's from the Carolina area, which is why they made him racist or whatever. He wears the Confederate flag as his pants, as his wrestling pants. So there's, indications with that or implications with that. And but yeah, him and New Jack, just both of them.
Yeah.
And then for just to round out the 4, you got Teddy Hart, and he's got a whole Netflix documentary. So your first 4 people that you're showing, it's like in hindsight, you're looking at it like, oh, and we haven't even we haven't even gotten to Disco Machine, and that's going to be
oh, it's going to be a season. But no, I mean, I got to ask you, look, Teddy Hart, I've always said, has so much potential. He did. But when he was not having his attitude problem and he was not messed up, he was fantastic. I think the problem is he took a lot of chances, and and that really could have shortened his career a lot. What did you think? Because Teddy Hart had a lot of potential. I think drugs and alcohol and his attitude is really what got him.
I think Teddy Hart was one of those guys that would have been along the lines of Rey Mysterio,
Yes.
where he doesn't have the size of your typical, this is the next big guy in WWE, but he definitely had like the move set, the agility. He had everything going for him in ring. It's just, oh man, his out of ring stuff just kind of,
Cost him.
yeah, it cost him big, man.
I mean, I look at a guy like him, and we mentioned this so many times. He would be great in the like if he was still going today, he would be a great veteran in the X division in TNA.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But the thing too is, again, with him, another one who was ahead of his time with the moves that he did, much like Jack Evans, because I collectively put those two together.
Oh yeah.
But I'm just like, dang it, man. If he would have stayed on the straight and narrow, we would have had a more happy ending than what we got.
If I'm sure somebody has already, but you could write a book on the what ifs in wrestling.
Teddy Hart.
Teddy Hart is definitely one of them. But between drug use, abuse, backdoor deals, and all kinds of stuff like that, there are so many what ifs in professional wrestling. And yeah, Teddy Hart he would fill up a good chapter of it, man, because nothing he said was a lie. Like, he is third generation, wrestling royalty, trained in the dungeon. Like, all of this stuff is legit. It's just he made some questionable choices over his life.
And speaking of choices, we will go on to the last roundup of those promos before we get into the Rumble. Your thoughts on seeing a young Chaos? Of course, shout out to Santino Brothers Academy. XPW will be here all day. And Aaron Aguilera, UPW, as well as the infamous Jesus. What were your thoughts on seeing those two?
I mean, it was cool. I had to look up Chaos. I wasn't too familiar with them, and I wasn't too familiar with the Santino Wrestling Academy or Santino Brothers Wrestling Academy. Mm-hmm. I did jot down some of the most notable names that were alumni from there.
Hit me.
So you got Viva Van.
Okay.
Kid Bandit, which if you haven't seen Kid Bandit on the indie circuit, absolutely phenomenal talent.
Yep.
They're fun. Bad Dude Tito. And probably their most notable alumni to this point is Brody King. So Brody King came out of there. So I was like, okay, that's cool. At least now I can kind of put a face with who was training these people, when they were coming up. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, shout out to Chaos and his wife, Miss Jezebel Romo, who's another dynamo in her own right. What's really cool, and I have to send you the vids, so Santino Brothers Wrestling Academy, like a lot of schools don't do this, on their YouTube channel, they break down the basics and talk about the safeties of pro wrestling, which is really cool. I will definitely send that to you, Roy. It's actually a very interesting watch.
Yeah, no, that's pretty awesome. I wish more wrestling academies would do stuff like that. It's kind of like I'm into guns and whatnot. Like I'm a gun guy, and I've seen some gun YouTubers that their whole thing is, hey, we like to have fun, but these are rules for owning a gun. These are rules that you need to do to remain safe while owning a gun. So to see like a wrestling academy do the same thing where it's like, hey, we like to have fun, but these are things to make sure you stay safe, and posting that out for everyone to see. That's a really cool idea.
Absolutely. And I will say, welcome to the gun show, if you will, for all those old school monikers and everything. You know what I laugh about it a lot? I don't know. Obviously, you've played SmackDown, Just Bring It, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They put in the short-lived tag team during the Invasion era. Do you remember when Billy Gunn and the Big Show were a tag team and the name of their tag team was Gun Show? The one Billy Gunn and Big Show, Gun Show.
No, but that is awesome. It makes sense. Dude, Big Show team with everybody. Big Show has had a team with everybody, man.
But yeah,
I'm surprised he wasn't in Wrestling Society X.
Oh my God. But no, that was literally for those little Easter egg out there. If you play
Yeah.
into tag teams on SmackDown, Just Bring It, Gun Show is one of those tag teams that you can play as, and I thought that was hilarious. As soon as you said Gun, I always come back to Gun Show.
Yeah.
God.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy! And speaking of oh yeah, this match, oh yeah, indeed, the WSX Rumble contracts are up top. You got to climb the ladder to get a shot at the WSX Championship the following week. So there's 10 people in this week. Start out with Just Incredible and Teddy Hart. They go back and forth. There was a nice little springboard moonsault from Teddy Hart to Just Incredible. Then Chaos comes out. They hit a shooting star press combo on Chaos. Then Vampiro comes out, choke slams the living bejesus out of Chaos. And then we go to a commercial break. Everybody's fighting. And by the way, during the break, Puma came out. And you barely noticed him because Puma got choke slammed by the number 6 entrant, Alcatraz, through the table, and he was eliminated. Puma didn't even get any shine, Roy. And for those that don't know, Puma, who was Puma, Roy? Tell everybody who Puma was.
I had to look it up because I was like, okay, Puma's in this match. And me being, Lucha Underground, yep. I'm like, wait, are they talking about Prince Puma? Like, is Ricochet about to pop out of here? Like, that's awesome. And then I'm like, okay, and in the video you can see because they keep like where they go to commercial and where they come back and everything. They come back from commercial and they're like, yeah, while we were gone, Puma got knocked out and eliminated. And I'm like, bro, Puma didn't even get a chance. Who is he? So I look him up. Friggin' TJP. Like, how old is TJP? Because if he was Puma back in 2007,
yes,
like he has wrestled under a mask for years.
So now
it's insane.
TJP is 41, so he was 23.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so he was 23 at the time.
Holy crap! I did not realize TJP was that old, man. That's older than I am, and I feel old all the time. And he's still man. Good for TJP, man.
Dude, he's been wrestling since he was like 15, though.
Yeah, that's insane.
For those that don't know, TJP would later go on to WWE, inaugural Cruiserweight champion in the Cruiserweight Classic.
TJ Perkins.
Oh, that stupid video game theme with the
I dug it.
You did
a little bit. I was a fan, man. I'm also a video game fan. So I think that's why I liked it so much. Was cool. He's trying to be like me, kind of thing. I do want to go over the rules for the Rumble.
Sure, it was
because they were so simple.
Yes,
but it was also a matter of wait, what?
Start out, and then go ahead, bro.
Yeah, so 2 people start out. Everybody has their numbers, just like Royal Rumble, and they come in 45 seconds apart. And then once everyone has been entered into the Rumble, the contracts then come in play, which the contracts were amazing because they were literally just rolled up pieces of paper stuck into links of chain that dropped down from the rafters. It wasn't like a clipboard that had a little hook on it or nothing like that. It was just, hey, just roll up some paper and put in the chain in one of the links. Like, go for it. And you needed a ladder to climb up there to get it. So my first thought was, okay, and they answered it. Don't get me wrong. They answered it. What if you get eliminated before the contracts come into play? Does everyone else have to be eliminated in order to grab the contract? What if no one gets eliminated and somebody just grabs the contracts? Like, I had so many questions that some were sort of answered, but I'm so shocked nobody does this now.
Right.
Like, we were literally just talking, what was it, last week, the week before last, where what concepts that they should bring back or what kind of wild concepts for matches.
This would be it.
This would be a good one. I could totally see like AEW or TNA running a, WSX Rumble. It would work out perfect.
I mean, you also have to remember this was TNA, who a year after this, when Vince Russo, was booking, did the reverse battle royal. So I mean, hey now, and
close, but I like the idea of
Something new.
a yeah. Well, I like the idea of a Royal Rumble with the added ladder match component. Like that's really neat.
Yeah, not like R-Truth, just, hey, R-Truth, this isn't a ladder match. This isn't Money in the Bank in the Rumble, like the comedy spot. Actually have like a thing.
No, our truth would have won.
He would have, but
He would have won. He came prepared. He's sitting on top. He came out, ran up the ladder, and then all of a sudden the chains drop because he's the number 10 entrance. Guess what? He wins already. There you go. Like, no, our truth would have been the man at this.
Yes, he would have.
And he fits in perfectly.
He does.
He could have been K Quick or K Killa.
Or K Crush, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he fits in perfectly with the whole WSX aesthetic.
Yeah, imagine if Ron the Truth Killings was WSX instead of TNA at this time. Oh boy.
I bet it would have lasted more than one season.
Damn straight. So, we go from Alcatraz eliminating poor Puma during the break with a choke slam through the table. Then out comes Six Pac, X Factors galore. Then here comes Chris Hamrick and New Jack. New Jack didn't even wait.
That was my second issue I had with it, because they're supposed to do the 45-second thing.
Yep.
New Jack comes out and then eliminates him. Oh my god! I was like, but what about the 45 seconds? Is New Jack a part of it? Was he not a part of it? Because here's a little spoiler: Luke Hawx came out there to help out Alcatraz.
Oh, we're gonna.
But guess what? He's not. They even mentioned on commentary Luke Hawx is not a part of the match. Okay, so was New Jack part of the match? Was New Jack number? Let me see. I even wrote it down. Was New Jack number 9? Or like, what are the odds that Chris Hamrick gets number 8 and then New Jack is number 9? Like, oh my god, it threw me for a loop. I'm like, okay, so we have rules, but we're not going to follow the rules.
So
and then he eliminates himself.
That was my thing too. Chris Hamrick gets eliminated by New Jack. New Jack eliminates himself because he just doesn't care.
No. But the thing is, he goes through the middle ropes.
I know.
He just steps out on the outside of the apron, and then you got, and here's my cameo part that I was talking about before. You got Rick Knox from AEW, sitting there saying, "You can't come out. You'll eliminate yourself." And I'm like, no, he won't. He didn't go over the top rope. He's not going to eliminate himself.
He went.
And then as soon as he hits the floor, they're like, "Oh, New Jack's out. And I'm like, okay, so it's a women's Royal Rumble or a women's Battle Royal where you just go through the middle rope and go out.
Right.
Before they actually were like, oh yeah, no, women are treated the same as men. I don't know why we have to just push them out of the ring and they're out of the match. Anyways, but yeah, New Jack just jumps out, and I'm like, so he eliminated himself. And then he gets back into the ring with a guitar, and I'm like,
oh,
okay, so he can come back in. So is he eliminated? Is he not eliminated? And then the ref gets in to let him know he's eliminated, and boom, guitar shot.
Yep.
Like, what the hell is going on?
Only New Jack can come back in with the guitar and just El Kabong the ref, and then just leave.
Oh my god.
And then we get like the aforementioned spots. So Chaos and Alcatraz are brawling. And here comes Luke Hawx, aka the former altar boy Luke, comes out and helps Alcatraz. Alcatraz does a back suplex through the ring and electric lighting.
Oh, we forgot to mention that. Hold on. We forgot to mention the fact that the entirety of the ring
is
surrounded by tables.
Yep.
There is a dumpster with barbed wire and explosions.
Yeah.
There is the side of a cage that is electric fence that's just set up like a table.
Yes.
And then there is a huge shipping container over in the side of the building. What is going on? So you don't have to get thrown over the top, but if you get thrown through one of the hazards, you're for sure out.
Yes.
Because you're dead.
Yes.
Like that's the gimmick, is you're dead as soon as you hit. Okay, cool.
So Chaos and Alcatraz were eliminated. Chris Hamrick and New Jack. That doesn't even stop there. New Jack's like, I want to end Chris Hamrick's life. He goes up top of the freaking. Okay, does an elbow drop through a table on Chris Hamrick through the table. That's it for New Jack and Chris Hamrick.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be, because I don't remember it, but I'll be shocked if we get New Jack and Chris Hamrick any other episode.
I don't remember either.
I feel like that's going to be the only time that we get that.
Yeah.
And it's literally, all right, guys, that's a wrap on New Jack and Chris Hamrick.
Probably. And then we get Youth Suicide comes out as the 10th entrant. Youth Suicide, who is in MTV's True Life, I'm a Backyard Wrestler. Roy, tell us what he's doing now.
Brother, when I tell you, I was shocked when I looked into this guy. So for all of y'all listening, we had a plan of doing, a kind of a where are they now kind of thing, because we already knew going into it, there's a few people where it's like, okay, it's notable to say where they are now. You've got Tyler Black, Seth Rollins, probably arguably one of the most famous people now from this era. So I was like, okay, let me look this guy up. I first look him up, nothing. I'm like, okay, what? So then I'm like, okay, let me just try AI and see what happens. So I type it into AI. This man, his name is Andre Verdun. He was a producer for Wrestling Society X at the time. And his current position is he is a defense attorney. He is also a professor of law in Southern California.
Wow.
I even have his, and I'll show you real quick. I even have his website pulled up just so we can look at it for a second.
Wow. Andre Verdun, wrestler, attorney, professor, advocate.
This is the part that I love.
A swell guy.
A swell guy. He's just a swell guy.
From the ring to the courtroom to the classroom. A swell guy. I love it.
Brother, this is one of the coolest things. And I mean, he's got, and we're not going to read all of it, but he's got his About Me where he's like, I went from clotheslining opponents on MTV to fighting for justice in California courtrooms. He's got his wrestling years, like what he did. Look, major shout out right here for Wrestling Society X. And that's where I found out, beyond the ring, he worked behind the scenes to bring the show to life from the production side.
Wow.
He's got some pictures of, like him and Foley. Like, it's just insane. And then goes into the law part of it where, he's got all this stuff where he should be a shield for the vulnerable and not a weapon for the powerful. Like, that's such a cold line, bro.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, and then, teacher. He's a professor at Southern California Institute of Law, man. So, yeah, dude.
Shout out. Ooh, okay.
So, yeah, and it all started with me being like, I don't know who this, prototype Miz character is. So let me look up who he is. And lo and behold, he's just a really, really chill lawyer now.
And I'm glad you brought that up, besides his accolades, which is awesome. Like his fedora, it reminded me of Chick Magnet Miz. That's literally what that was, Chick Magnet Miz.
I literally had to, because I will try to link where you can watch Wrestling Society X, because it's on YouTube. Like, you can find it on YouTube. So I'll try to leave a link down in the description. But it's a little bit grainy because it was shot in like 105p. I think somebody shot it on a Razor phone through the window or something. I don't know. But from the graininess of it, at first, I literally thought it was Miz. And I was like, wait, no, he might be too big to be Miz. But then I remembered, like, oh no, wait, 2007, Miz was already in WWE, so
So we get towards the end of the match now. Since You Suicide comes out, we see Teddy Hart gets eliminated through the electric table. We see the electrical lead and through the table, through the explosions and everything. We see the thumbtacks come into play from Youth Suicide, and he just gets right onto the thumbtacks by a choke slam and a power bomb by Vampiro. Six Pac gets out through the electrical stuff. Then we see it come down to Vampiro, Youth Suicide, and Just Incredible. Friggin', here's my thing. You got thumbtacks in your face, you suicide. You can't see. So now you're just going to be climbing the ladder and you can't see. And then, of course, it leads to Just Incredible and then pushing him out, explosion, boom, boom, boom. You suicide's out. It comes down to Vampiro and Just Incredible. And then here comes Six Pac back, like tugging on the ladder. Vampiro jumps, gets the contract after Six gets the contract. So it's now going to be Vampiro and Six Pac for the WSX Championship next week. And then we fade to black, and that's the end of the first episode. So what do you think of our winners, Six Pac and Vampiro, and the WSX Rumble as a whole? I thought it was chaotic. It was a unique concept, but I thought the right two winners, if you're going to have two established names, they were the perfect ones to win.
oh yeah, it's so fun going back to 2007, seeing Vampiro in the ring, because, and I had alluded to it earlier about Angelico and Jack Evans being sent to CMLL. Somebody put face paint on Damian Priest and call him El Hijo de Vampiro and send him to AAA right now, because watching Vampiro in that match, like, it's carbon copy of what Priest is doing.
It's very
like, yeah, like Priest is very reminiscent of this era of Vampiro. And I'm like, dude, why has nobody thought to do that? Like, if Priest ever starts to kind of slow down a little bit in WWE, send him to AAA and just like put him in face paint and let him be like, Vampiro Jr. or something. Yeah, having Vampiro and Six Pac win it made sense, because those are your two most notable names on the show. This was also like I think this was like intoxicated Sean Waltman era. Like, yeah, he's even smoking a cigarette in his entrance or whatever. So he might not have been in the right headspace like he would be now. Because, shout out to Sean Waltman for, sobriety. Good for him. Great for him. So I remember watching this the first time thinking, oh yeah, that's going to be really cool. And I was really excited for the match, but I can't remember if my excitement stayed for the match or if it was one of those like Sting versus Jeff Hardy situations. You know what I mean?
I feel you, because, yeah, like you mentioned, this was at a time when he had just gotten off the TNA run. He got fired for doing like a lot of no-shows, and he had just like started doing indies again. So seeing him really being on this was cool. But like you mentioned, the smoking the cigarette during the entrance, he was still messed up at the time. I think he would go back to TNA 3 years later during the era of Hulk Hogan. But yeah, like this was still around the time when X-Pac was going through his demons. But I mean, hey, he got some work. He did his thing. He was always a great talent. Vampiro was a hero. Like what he did in AAA, WCW, Lucha Underground would be here all day. But I think if you're going to have this underground, pun intended, type of field here, I think no one better than Six and Vampiro. And that's where we'll actually be in our next episode, talking about the main event for the WSX title, Vampiro and Six Pac. I'll be honest with you, I don't remember the match, but if I remember correctly, the match was okay. I think there might have been some explosions, but we'll see, because there's going to be somebody who becomes an integral part of their story, and we'll talk about him when that comes.
That's what I was about to say. The only thing I remember is what comes about afterwards, which makes me think I remember who won, because it makes sense who's coming in.
Yes.
But that's really the only thing I can remember about the match itself. So I'm looking forward to the next time we review one of these because I'm looking forward to watching that. And I think this next one has 3 matches on it. I think there's a tag match, there's the main event, and there might be one other match, and I can't remember what it was.
Well, we will all find out together in the next episode of our WSX series. So next week we're taking a break from the series because next week, doggone it, man, we got 4 shows next week. We have Slammiversary, we have the Night of Champions, we have Great American Bash, and we have Forbidden Door. So we're going to focus on 2 of them because the CW is the Great American Bash. That's going to be on TV. Slammiversary, we love TNA, but the 2 prominent ones that everybody's going to be talking about are the Clash of Champions, which airs early at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and Forbidden Door that Sunday. So we'll do those 2. We'll cut it in half for next week on the predictions. So.
Yeah, I was about to say, we'll kind of do like the prediction show that we did before, where we just kind of split it in half.
Yeah.
We'll do 1 for 1, and then we'll go from there. But other than that, we didn't have any other news or anything to get into, and it's just been, man, we spent more time talking about Wrestling Society X than the actual show went on. So,
hey, this is our era, man. Like you and I are around the same age, so we remember a lot of this.
Yeah, it's a fun time, man. It is a good bit of nostalgia grab if you're bored sitting at your house for a couple of hours, because if you go to the YouTube pages, they have different places have different ones. Some of the episodes include the WS Extra. So the ones that don't include it, I think the longest episode is only like 22 minutes long or something.
Yeah, because the show, I believe, was it like a half an hour back in the day?
I think it was. I think it had to have been a half hour. Had to have been. So yeah, you can sit down and watch all of them in like one day and just kind of had that nostalgia hit for some fun old school style craziness, and definitely a product of mid 2000s MTV. So
and it was great to reminisce on this first one. We will be back for our second one in a few weeks. God dang it, man. The nostalgia just hit me right in the feels, as I hope it does yours. Roy, where can we follow you on the social medias? You do a great job with our socials. Plug it, man. Go right ahead.
Yeah, socials, just I don't really have my own social stuff, so I just kind of use our socials. You can find us pretty much everywhere on either the Takedown Pod or the Takedown Podcast. We're on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I don't know. We're on Linktree.
Facebook. Well, you created the Facebook now, and we also
we got Facebook now
and Spotify.
So yeah, we've got a little bit of everywhere. And it's simple. Just look up the Takedown Podcast or Takedown Pod. We're pretty much anywhere, man. What about you?
And we'll see these 2 faces right here because we got y'all. So if you want to check out the show, it is, like Roy mentioned, Takedown Pod. Go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. We also have the S&M Network shows that it airs, and you can check me out there. Please also go check me out on socials, SM Show 1 or MCL92, SteveandMikeShow.com, LFCFights.com, and on the Instagram, it is MLarkinMB, MLarkin_92. We're here, there, we're everywhere, but please subscribe, please like, please comment, and interact and engage within this fine program. And we'll see y'all next week. We bring it up just to take it down, and we got predictions, we got wrestling, we got nostalgia, we got a whole lot of, and we're coming at you. We're coming at you, like Jack Black and Steve Zahn and David Silverman. There's a reference for everybody.
And don't forget, check us out on WFJAFM.com podcast.
Yes, thank you. My goodness. Yes. Thank you, Roy.
That's the whole reason. No. But definitely check us out there. That was the one I forgot to mention is check us out, WFJAFM.com/podcast. We got the podcast up there. So
yes, please check us all out. It is an amazing site, an amazing station. Check it out, baby. Oh, thank you for that. For Roy Costin, my name is Mike Larkin. We will see you guys next time on the Takedown Podcast. And I do this for her. So long and good night.